The next big FPS has finally been announced, and this is going to be the biggest game we've seen in quite some time. The FPS genre has been having a huge drought, where the last new IP was over 3 years ago, and many of the new games today are just rehashes of old games with some updates. But that was until recently, where Bungie, the creators of Halo 1 through Reach and Destiny, announced their next big IP, Marathon. This FPS is set to make huge waves in the industry, and here's the 5 reasons why. This is the first AAA extraction shooter. We've seen the extraction shooter genre blow up, which is a combination of PvE versus PvP, and it's been in games like Tarkov, Dark and Darker, and even creator-driven studios like Dr. Disrespect's Midnight Society announced his FPS is going to be an extraction shooter as well. Now, extraction shooters have many teams dropping on one huge map, and their paths to extraction or to leave the map is typically across from each other. And in the middle is a diverse world with PvE or AI-driven enemies, and tons of loot and goodies that you can use to upgrade your character, make some money, and cement yourself as a top-tier competitor. Now, because of the general world and the way in which that you have to extract from said world, you are naturally going to run across other teams. So the combination of an exploration type game with PvP, crisp combat, and really you never know what you could expect, because a simple loot gathering mission could turn to an all-out firefight where multiple teams enter the fray. Extraction shooters seem like the next evolution of the battle royale genre, especially when we consider that AI is getting much better and having PvE enemies that are part of a very active and alive world, and combine that with the human element that is completely unpredictable, means that this is going to be a very replayable and unique experience game after game. Now, Marathon is going to take this to another level with their persistent world. Not only is every player going to be given different motivations to go through every single run, but the world itself will change as players consistently develop and discover things on said map. They said this, quote, "We want to give players the chance to affect these persistent zones and the larger world as a result. For example, imagine a crew discovering a previously undiscovered artifact that, when activated, opens a new area of the map for all players to explore. In essence, we're creating a game where the actions of players can have ramifications for the world and the players with each unfolding season." So not only are you combining many of the best aspects of the extraction shooter genre, but you're combining it with things that you would only see in an MMO, where the world itself actually changes and develops as players affect said world, and this can affect every single person. To paint the picture here, this is gonna feel like the game is alive. Every single time you're going on a run, things that you do actually matter and affect other players, and combine that with the unpredictability of both PvP, PvE enemies, and an ever-growing environment, this world is gonna feel very real, and this game is gonna feel like you're actually going on an adventure yourself, not just a static, isolated environment that you're just killing people for no reason. This all sounds great in theory, but I don't blame you for being jaded, especially with consistent developers letting us down over the past couple of years. But Bungie is taking the reins on this game, and this game has actually been in development for 10 years. The original Marathon was made in 1994, and Bungie has actually been planning and developing this game for quite a while. And Bungie, honestly, has a really good track record. Whether you're a fan of Destiny or not, Halos 1 through Reach were revolutionary, and Bungie has had a consistently good track record when compared to a lot of other AAA studios. And while this game does seem incredibly optimistic, think about the skills that the Bungie team has developed over all their game. Halo has showcased their deep narrative elements as well as crisp PvP that was then refined in Halo 3 and consistently refined in Halo Reach, and their experience with Destiny has shown their PvE and looter shooter style of fundamentals that they can transfer into this new game that combines the best elements of both of their previous top tier IPs. Basically, while the dream is incredibly ambitious, if anyone could pull it off, it would definitely be Bungie. Now, there is some established Marathon lore. The game is going to take place mostly in the 2700s, and you're most likely going to be actually building a colony or attempting to build a colony on a 4th planet for human life, and there's going to be aliens and sci-fi elements built in. While this was the original story back in the original Marathon, I'm sure that they're going to do some tweaks here or there to flesh it out. Now, the last thing they teased at is there are going to be more ways to actually win Marathon than simply getting out alive. In essence, there's going to be opportunities for players to feel fulfilled and rewarded even if they don't make it to exfil, and I think this can fix some of the fundamental problems with extraction shooters like camping the extraction zone or potentially having really stale looting paths. All in all, Marathon is set to be the next big FPS, and you need to be keeping your eye on this game. Whether you're going to be a creator, a gamer, or you just want something new, Marathon might just be the next big hit.